And welcome to the Celebrated Nightly News of Calaveras County. My name's John.
And I'm Kim.
And we thank you for stopping by on a Tuesday evening.
Tuesday evening. Government Day, usually, right?
It was Board of Supervisors Day.
It was a long meeting
Over
one issue.
It was a long meeting. In fact, I actually didn't even stay for the whole meeting.
You didn't?
I didn't stay for the budget hearings.
You didn't?
So I'm just assuming that we now have a budget kind of like this,
Kind of like the state of California does?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I stayed for a lot.
You did.
I stayed
there all
from
day
like
for a
9 until after
4.
3.
After 3, yeah. You did.
And
so what happened?
am I supposed to talk about it?
Yeah, because I wasn't there. So.
All right. Now, one of the first things that was on the there was lots of things on the agenda, but I would say the item that took up the biggest single item that took up the majority of the time on the agenda, which is what everybody expected, was the proposed billboards in Valley Springs.
Okay.
Now this has...
Now where are those to be placed in Valley Springs? Highway 12?
On Highway 12.
Okay.
Down past the... basically between Valley Springs and Burson.
Okay.
On the left-hand side down there.
Okay.
And Kevin Goss, with his partner, are the owners of the property.
Okay.
Where the signs are to be placed by Rogers Media.
Okay.
Now, this is one of those things
as you pour your beer over there.
Yeah, as I pour my Diet Coke, and because sometimes on topics like this,
you need a beer. Yeah,
you need a Diet Coke.
Isn't that what you call them? You call them that. I need a beer, but really he means Diet Coke.
Yeah. So okay, as we pour Diet Coke over here, what is going to happen on this one is, in all likelihood, there will probably be a lawsuit on this.
Yes, I think so.
You can tell the proponents of the project wanted to make some concessions today to just kind of get the project rolling. So they offered concessions of dropping the project from 3 billboards down to 1 billboard, removing illumination, so they would be an unlighted billboard.
So this had actually gone through the Planning Commission first, correct?
And was
denied.
So this was an appeal.
Okay, it's an appeal. Okay.
This was an appeal.
All right.
And I guess there's a couple little things. We talked to some on the legal side of it. If this goes to a lawsuit, in all likelihood, not guarantees, but the potential outcome of this would be that they may win on
the property owner. Because the property
no guarantees, but that just from the stuff we talked about, that may in fact win.
Okay.
But today they got close. So basically, this was one of those things to where they did get an approval. They got an approval for 1 sign.
1 sign, all right.
The problem was the sunset clause. They approved 1 sign with a sunset clause in 5 years, which means after 5 years the sign would no longer be permitted.
Okay.
The owners of the sign company said that was not long enough to recoup their investment.
Okay.
So it was, in their opinion, a victory. Well, it was an approval that didn't really... Is
it one of those signs that you see they bring it on wheels, like the barrel?
No. This is...
Okay. Because you've seen those where they bring it on wheels.
No, this is a standard billboard, on a mono steel pole, just like you would see in other areas. A lot of people say they would rather not have that in our area. Okay. There was really... And even one of the proponents of it said that he'd rather not have the sign either, but he was saying that according to property rights that it was the right of the owner. There's also some precedent setting coming back from the Board of Soups and other stuff that, yes, even though it's a permitted use, it is still a discretionary. There's still some discretion of the board and others. So there is by no means a clear-cut thing that the sign would go in place. Okay. Anyway, but this is one of those, if you're following, and this is where it makes us a little bit sad. All right, and this is not editorializing. This is kind of stating a fact that they've been working on this appeal for a long time. They've been working on the sign process for a long time. So ostensibly they've followed all of the steps. The ground where they want to put the sign is zoned in conformance with this. Legally, they have a fairly clean case, but there's a lot of political pressure against it, which is understandable.
Understandable, yes.
I guess the only thing that is you hate to see people trying to do business in the county and basically run into almost like a buzzsaw. And that's the part that, from an economic development side and everything else, it kind of makes you a little bit sad. There's an interesting note. Yesterday we were talking to a real estate developer. One of the real estate developers we talked to that actually owned several parcels in the area and still does, looking at developing some of them, moving those forward. He actually, as of probably a couple months ago, just left the county.
Yes.
Just the fact that he felt that you couldn't get anything done here. So, and that's the kind of stuff we hate to see as a prevailing feeling about our county, because we love the county. We want the county
to do well.
Yes,
we do.
So, in essence, it was a 2 hours and 25 minutes of discussion on the signs, back and forth. MyValleySprings.com. There were some well-reasoned arguments against the signs. That's, and I think there's
the candidates for supervisor spoke. Zero McDaniel spoke.
Zero McDaniel spoke. Gary Toffanelli did not.
Okay.
Zero McDaniel spoke, asking that the applicant to voluntarily withdraw the application for the signage. And it was one of those long things, and this is what we were talking to one of somebody in the legal field, afterwards, is that you kind of hope that, because since there was so much public sentiment against the signs, probably it's one of these things.
Okay, John.
Yeah, I know. Okay, all right. They have a decent chance of winning if they actually take action against the county.
Because of the property rights.
Because they're not perfect, but they have a decent shot.
Okay.
If they do that route, they said that they would go for 3 full signs with illumination, their full thing. So, in some ways, the decision today provided the supervisors political cover, because in the long run, if they have to take action in the county and the county loses, the supervisors would be able to say that no, we weren't for it, and no, we didn't vote on it, even if in fact the signs, which is true. So I mean, it's
all right.
All right, enough on that.
So you missed the budget hearings, but you did stay for some other things, I'm assuming.
Oh,
what else happened?
Oh, let me get back to our agenda here.
Behavioral health. I have it right here.
You want to talk about the accidents and stuff over there? And
sure.
I'll pull up the. What? Oops.
I already opened up the agenda for you. You see, I've already got it open right here.
Okay.
Anyway, they were discussed behavioral health services today. Billboard signs, final budget hearings. Here's the agenda right here.
All right.
Let's take a look at it.
Okay. All right. See, this is okay. Now the other one, big one today. This was the Pearl Gates of Heaven Ministry. This one took up probably an hour and a half. Now this is if you've driven past there, this is the ministry and church that is on Parrots Ferry Road, very near the entrance to Moaning Caverns.
Yes, I was wondering what that was.
It is a 200 and some acre parcel there. According to everybody's measure, they do a wonderful job there.
What is it exactly?
It's a ministry where they
a church or.
Yes, but in fact that a lot of it is they have grounds that you can, in essence, worship on. They've got some crosses set up, and so they're trying. Their whole pitch is that in addition to the church, they also use the entire property in a religious manner.
Okay.
There is no other economic
activity. About their taxes, weren't they?
Why, yes, they were.
Their tax bill. So they must have got their tax bill. They didn't get their tax bill.
No,
they didn't get a reduced tax bill, right?
Well, what they were looking to see is get a waiver or a refund on their taxes from, I believe, without looking back at my notes, 2003 through 2007. So they were looking at about, 5 years worth of taxes. So, yeah,
that's a lot. How
so
many
roughly 217 acres.
I had no idea.
And so this is the crux of this one wasn't some interesting things, and I think Supervisor Thomas was justifiably proud on his today, because he was right on calling this. See, if you pay property taxes, the county does not receive all of those. They receive a percentage, and I believe it's about 16% of the actual property taxes actually go to the county general fund. The rest goes to school and some of the other things like that. So they were petitioning to have their taxes refunded for those years. What would have happened, though, if the Board of Supervisors would have approved that, is that all of the money refunded. So let's say, for example, that it was, for the sake of argument, $100,000. It wasn't quite that much, I don't believe. But let's say it's $100,000. Then, and this goes to any tax refund. Okay, that means $100,000 would come straight out of the general fund of the county, even though only $16,000 went in. So basically, if the county has to do a refund, they dig into their pocket for over 5 times the amount of the money they actually receive. So, what was told the charity is, or the nonprofit, is that if they are a 501c3 or a couple other formats that actually meet the legal description that the tax assessor is looking at, they will have next year's taxes waived. But they did not get the refund. Today. But that was after, so that took an hour and a half to get to that point. Looks like they also talked about Calaveras County Behavioral Health Services. Were you there when they discussed that? A lot of this stuff is just consent. A lot of stuff will go through. I mean, it's... Calaveras County, they want an improvement agreement between Calaveras County Behavioral Health Services and Tuolumne General Medical Center for inpatient psychiatric services. Well, that's good. All consent. That went through. Sheriff Dennis Downham did stand up and give a little brief talk about the county receiving full funding. Thank Marita Calloway and Supervisor Thomas for some of their travels in following that. And we would like to thank Marita Calloway for giving us a call on Thursday night when it was approved. Yes, thank you very much. She gave us a call from the road. Yes, she did. She was doing the road show. She was doing the road show. And we have a budget. The state has a budget. We do have a budget. We do have a budget. Now, as some of you know, we...
seconds of video showing him just signing the budget. So I was like, that's almost Pine Tree-esque. Exactly. I felt right at home.
Was it dark or was it light?
It was small. It was really small.
But was his face well lit?
He was well lit, but there was no sound at all.
No sound.
There was no sound at all. Just him signing the budget, maybe holding up a signed document.
So we have a budget. That's good news, right?
I actually felt, it was...
You felt like we were professionals.
I almost felt the warm fuzzies in the fact that, just kidding. All right. And if you want to follow the debate of the sign ordinance, now it's illustrative if you're following county government, different things like that. We have over 2 hours and 20 minutes of video of just the 2 hours and 20 minutes of video.
Just the sign discussion, yes.
That's just the sign discussion. Yes, and we also wanted to know that if Nick Baptista from the Valley Springs News is watching this, he had to take off before they had the vote. So he was wondering when we'd have it posted so he could review it. Well, it's posted now, Nick, if you want to watch it.
And we'll have the full video up of the meeting tomorrow?
Probably tomorrow. Probably with the length of it.
Probably wait till this evening, right? Dinner time, I'm imagining.
Yeah, correct? So they're looking at another 5-6 hour.
All right. Columbia College plans public educational activities for election 2008. Members of the Columbia College Civic Engagement Project have planned and organized several educational activities and preparations for November's election. The public is invited and there is no cost to attend. Our goal is to objectively present the issues and facts behind each of the presidential candidates and statewide propositions. So they're going to have, sounds like they have some organized events planned, so we have the calendar of that on the pinetree.net, which is, I think, good, because there's a lot of people out there who still don't know who to vote for.
Right.
And we did hear that today that there's rumor that Obama's bringing Hillary on.
There's rampant. No, this is I guess to quote the blogosphere, the rumors that on October 5th
it's going to be announced that he's going to have Hillary as his running mate.
I don't
he's
think
going to give Biden the boot.
I don't see how he could do it.
Might. Never know.
But he has kind of given Biden the dressing down.
Well, it has seemed that way lately. Yes.
So it's kind of an interesting.
He realized he wasn't fit for the job.
It was kind of interesting that President Bill Clinton, was on The View yesterday and stated that Hillary didn't want the job.
Oh, okay.
She didn't want to be VP.
He probably wants it.
Oh yeah, that's going to work well.
I'm just kidding. He's funny. Anyway, public input sought on Calaveras County multi-hazard mitigation plan. Calaveras County Office of Emergency Services will present information and obtain input on reducing risk to natural disasters in Calaveras County at an upcoming session of the Calaveras County Board of Supervisors. Citizens and other interested parties are invited and encouraged to attend. Will be held on Tuesday, October 7th at 1:30 p.m. at the Board of Supervisors chambers.
And kind of on a similar note, we'd like to talk about one thing that's coming from that Clark Broadcasting was reporting this happened in Tuolumne County today.
Well, I was actually reporting it. I mean, the accident?
No, the stuff that blew up.
Yeah, okay.
Now, Monday afternoon, the Calaveras County Bomb Squad, which led by Clay Hawkins and his group at the OES, they are actually the bomb squad of record for several counties.
Yes.
They found a 1917 World War I ordnance over there, an artillery shell.
Where?
Oh, what was it? Like a storage room, back room, or one built. I mean, it was in.
This is the second one in a week they found.
Well, historically they found over 400 of them. So they found all kinds of
last week there
pieces.
was one. Remember, there was one found.
Well, that was an IED. That's a little different. Yeah. This was just an old shell that somebody had probably.
Okay.
So they did some research on it, dug a backhoe hole over by the SPI plant over off of Comage over there, and blew the thing up.
Phone's ringing.
Yes,
all right.
Apologize. You didn't have it on vibrate?
There were a couple of traffic collisions today.
Yeah, everybody knows your ringtone. Here we go.
A couple of traffic collisions today. One was actually a major injury accident that occurred over in Tuolumne County on Parrots Ferry Road. It had Parrots Ferry Road closed for about an hour. One of the vehicles actually caught fire but did not spread to wildland, according to Lisa Williams. But one of the persons was pinned in the vehicle, and there was major injuries involved. I don't know, and one had suffered minor injuries.
Yeah,
and that happened.
Broken pelvis or something.
There was a non-injury collision at Highway 49 in McCollum Hill today. This morning about 11. These happened right next to each other. So there was reports of a structure fire today that was called in. The Highway 12 in the Toyon area, but I immediately called, and she said that they were already calling resources off. So I'll be curious to see when we get the fire report as to if they got it put out clear what happened on that. And that was a little scary when you hear all the air traffic going over. You're wondering what's going on. So anyway. There's a couple of candidates things. Is today Wednesday or Tuesday? Oh no, that's right.
Today's Tuesday.
So tomorrow morning is Mark Twain St. Joseph's Copperopolis Health Fair.
There you go. So you can go down and get some free health screenings.
Yeah, tomorrow morning at Saddle Creek. They will be holding from 7 to 10 a.m.
So if we go by there, you have to get your blood pressure checked?
Yeah. You apparently have good blood pressure. I have no idea how.
I'm a carrier. What I do is I raise the blood pressure of everyone around me to have higher blood pressure.
I think that's probably... I had mine checked at the dentist, and it was perfect.
I stay in my nice little zen-like state as everybody else.
When you weren't in the room, though.
If I would have been there, you would have failed, right?
Probably.
Yeah. All right.
Tomorrow is also the second annual Comanche Cleanup Day at Lake Comanche. Now I have a voicemail.
You do.
There you go.
Yes.
Journey. There you go. Okay. Calaveras Grown Farmers Market continues tomorrow from 3 p.m. to dusk. And Bret Hart has a cross-country meet. Black Bart Players auditions for ladies in retirement. This begins tomorrow evening. And let me see what else. We have Happy Autumn, which is my favorite time of the year. It was officially official Sunday around 12 noon.
So now it's fall.
It's fall.
And I
do
did
you realize
notice
it only lasts until around November 6th.
And I did notice that the official sign of fall, at least for a lot of you in this part of the corridor side of the county, if you go up Murphy's Grade Road, most people who travel it will know what I mean. There is a beautiful vine that crosses the road on
Is it starting to turn?
It's starting to go red.
Love that.
So
I wish
that
it was
is
longer.
the sign, and that's
My
been the
favorite
last
time of
couple
year.
days that is starting to tinge.
It's so sad. It wasn't like a month. So it's about. I mean,
So we got 3 or 4 weeks here of
that's
just
it.
really.
It makes me sad. I wish it was longer. It's my favorite time of year. I love it.
It is
I even put that my favorite time of year. Happy
your
autumn.
favorite time of year, and if you're looking at
Not that
national
anybody
news.
cares what I have to say, but
And everyone's favorite bully, Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, was addressed the UN this morning in New York, and he says America is near collapse.
Okay,
So
all right.
that in and of itself
on a bright note,
should
yes.
boost all of the markets, because just the revenge thing. If Mahmoud
Also
says that we're in
says-
trouble, then we have
And
to
we
prove
better
that we're
listen.
not.
Yes, exactly.
So that should. So if Mahmoud Ahmadinejad says that we are in trouble, then tomorrow morning stocks should just go nuts.
Through the roof, yes. I wanted to remind everybody that there are going to be 2. Well, one is a question and answer session with supervisor candidates Zero McDaniel and Garrett Toffanelli, being sponsored right by the Greater Valley Springs Advisory Group on Thursday evening at 7 p.m. at the Community United Methodist Church, 135 Laurel Street. And also a candidates night that is being hosted by the Chamber of Commerce.
The biggie, the
Thursday night.
25th.
Well, it's with the District 4 supervisors.
Yeah, but they're also going to have the Angels Camp City Council.
City Council, and they're going to be discussing Measure K.
Yes, they are.
Yes. So we need to somehow cover both of these.
We will.
We'll figure it out.
Can
Unless somebody would like to volunteer to cover one of them.
Can I
for
spend
us.
like another 30 seconds on national news?
Go ahead, John.
All right,
Just
the national
reminding
news
people.
ticker. The bailout looks like it may be in trouble. There's going to be all kinds. So who knows if they'll get that thing wrangled and closed. This is from FBI is probing Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, Lehman Brothers, and AIG for possible misdeeds. And and the other interesting thing is, because they probably didn't want to do an affirmative vote on it, the Dems let the offshore drilling ban expire. So that should open up more. There's a lot of people who have lots of different opinions on that issue, but that did let that expire. And just kind of little interesting things. And Bill Clinton came out and was talking on Sarah Palin, and he says, "I get why she's hot out there." So he was talking about he understands, you know.
He
So
understands.
so that's
What does that mean? And what does that say about Clinton? Hillary? What did it say? She didn't look very happy there.
and also the other new thing, and this is kind of on the techie side, is the first Android phone was launched today. Now, this is Google's answer to the iPhone, but it is a little more detailed than that. In fact, they are doing a free and open source operating system stack that companies can load on phones.
Okay.
So, for example, the first one to launch will be on the T-Mobile network, and it'll be an HTC smartphone, and that's very similar to the HTC 6800 that I have from
Golden State
Cellular. This will have more of a touch interface.
Okay.
But in essence, it will allow people to really work on the interface of a phone.
Okay.
It'll have a web browser, very
I
iPhone.
I like the simple phone. I hate
Well,
when
that's
you
no
have me
fun.
check things on your phone. I'm just like, oh, please don't. I
That's
don't
no
like
fun.
to type on a phone, text. I'm not into any of that.
Well, then
Takes
basically,
too long.
this
I hate when
this
you text
is,
me because I never respond. Have you noticed?
Yeah,
it
I
takes too
noticed.
long. It's like I'm gonna
Yeah.
sit there and unpack
Yeah.
and
So the Google Android
it's easier
phone
just to call.
was launched today, and this should probably, and we've got to check with some of the phone capabilities and stuff on it, but I would guess that even local carriers like Golden State Cellular will be able to launch Android phones,
Okay.
and that'll be one of the next ones. If we can get an Android phone, I got to get my hands on an
you are.
Android
Okay,
phone.
all right.
Yeah, that's
all
pretty
right.
cool stuff.
All right, cool stuff.
Cool
nerdy,
stuff.
Nerdy stuff.
Well, it kind of is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also that Legos are now being used to smuggle cocaine.
Oh my gosh.
So if your kids are really happy doing Legos, be a little. No, just kidding.
Great.
That's
You mean the ones that they're in boxes sold in stores? No.
Well, let me see here. Let me click on the headline here
Gosh,
and
our
look at
kids
the
love Legos.
Lego My Kilo. That was the title.
Great.
Narcotics traffickers hid cocaine inside Lego sets and other toy packages that were mailed from Puerto Rico to New York City, according to drug enforcement officials, as seen in the DEA evidence photos in the following pages. The accused dealers placed the drugs inside vibrantly colored K'NEX and Lego containers.
Oh my gosh.
And insert your own brick jokes here. And also, we have previously before that perps have been caught using puppies, Tickle Me Elmo dolls, and Mr. Potato Heads.
Oh no. So if your kids are happy while playing Legos, there's a reason.
If they seem just a little, if they like their Legos just a little too much, no, just kidding.
It's been funny.
It's
our kids
not
love
funny
Legos.
at all. I didn't.
Our oldest could play with Legos for hours and hours and hours.
Right.
And be perfectly content. Right?
Yes.
Our little one can't sit still long enough.
And we would like to thank the Paint and Body Shop in Angels Camp for sponsoring the news tonight. We'd like to thank them as an advertiser and also thank them for sponsoring the nightly news.
They are a new advertiser as well.
And that's it. You got anything else you want to cover?
I'm done.
And we'll see you back here tomorrow night. We'll have more fun and exciting Board of Supervisors stuff up for you.
Yes.
And much more.
Yes.
Good night.
Good night.